What's something everyone should experience in their lifetime? Go see some stars. Go camping in a national park. Watch the stars. Go see a freaking meteor shower in the desert. The cosmos are freaking rad. Man. The feeling of creating something, some piece of art. Music. etc. that people you've never met go out of their way to tell you they appreciate. God. That feeling of doing something so well that people just stop to enjoy it is out of this world. Financial security. I've never had it. And that simple fact has caused me more stress and anxiety than I care to admit. I do believe that though money can't bring happiness, when you don't have it, it can absolutely hinder it greatly. Traveling outside their country of birth. Everyone should experience doing something significant for someone who cannot possibly benefit them in return, and doing so for no credit, recognition or return. Edited since this got some attention. Ironic. I don't believe one should act and not derive some self-satisfaction. One ought feel good internally about being a good human. You haven't failed if you helped a person or animal and felt satisfied. There are myriad quotations that begin in the measure of a man and address his idea in some form anyway. Do something nice because you can. Peace and quiet of nature. Driving out to the wilderness and being able to sit and think deeply without the noises of traffic and city life helps you relax and get away from your busy life. I recommend at least once a month. Plus the views of the night sea is breathtaking. Getting a hug from someone who has been waiting all day to see you. Watching the ocean at night in the dead of winter on a silent beach. I've never felt more connected to the history of everything than at those times. Security. Feeling safe and free from worry. Living alone. Being truly by yourself for long periods of time can teach you invaluable things when becoming an adult. A healthy non-toxic relationship. The Northern Lights. They really are beautiful either. We saw them in Yellowknife, Canada. It's well situated for the lights, but it still takes a little light. We had cloud cover all but the very last night. So glad for that last night. Second edit. If you are interested in Yellowknife, we went with Carlos from Yellowknife Outdoor Adventures and I can't say enough good things about him. He was wonderful and had a great setup. And he also went way above and beyond with us, given that we needed both an emergency room visit. I injured myself before we ever even got to him, and a last minute extra night out on the ice to have one more try at the lights which came through. He was fantastic. Yellowknife also has a great museum with lots of interesting information about First Nation people of the area. A great local bookstore with good books about Yellowknife and Canadian history. And a wonderful local artist's workshop. It was a wonderful trip beyond the lights themselves. Seeing the Milky Way. Snow. I still have never felt it. Astronomy. Seeing the planets with your own eyes is an experience I will never forget. The Aurora Borealis. Traveling abroad and actually experiencing another culture. Getting to know people that aren't like you. Looking at a clear sky full of stars. Done that on a beach with a clear sky on a starry night and saw 5 shooting stars in 10 minutes. I was fully amazed. Living by yourself. A massage. Not Shrekul in any way though. A relaxing massage of the back, thighs, legs and feet. It's truly refreshing and you feel new and energized. Might sound depressing but it's not meant to. Losing the fear of death. It wipes away all cares and lets you be free. Being wrong. Being shown that you're wrong. A lot. To have someone who you can trust your life with, it's a different kind of peace. It could be a family member, romantic partner or a friend. Knowing that someone genuinely got your back is a gift to the soul. IDK how to explain it further. Live your life on your own terms. It seems simple but can be really hard depending on one's circumstances. Love. Hiking to a mountain top to see the sunrise. Failure. And the maturity to accept and learn from it. More importantly than Shrek. The peace of cuddling with someone you can trust. Totality during a full solar eclipse 2024 is coming soon enough. Going to be streaking across the south starting in Texas toward the east coast. Start making your plans now. Unconditional love, respect and trust. It creates security. Your body at its peak physical capabilities. A solo trip. Getting out on your own and doing things on your own is such an epic experience. Playing with your good friends as kids without a care in the world. Life where your worst fear is scraping your knee or some shit. And playing something simple like play fight or hopscotch or tag or clapping games or whatever childhood games that almost make you miss being a kid. That's my honest answer. Seeing the pyramids in Giza. It's inexplicable just the size and age. Doing pest control in the city for 16 months. Not to understand the complex life, evolution and behaviors of organism and the environmental stimulations, which is invaluable on its own. But to witness the diversity of the human condition. Never had I been so humbled by people that live like kings and in squalor. Some wealthy are in a bubble. Others are deep in care. The poor you end up seeing live with either what they got dealt with or the consequences of their choices or others. But more than that, you see that life can never be black and white for you ever again. Some people live with a terrible hand. Some are absolutely crazy. Some are doing great despite living in a rough area. You'll learn you can't save everybody. But a small act of kindness can be so impactful. You'll develop thick skin as some will want more out of you that you really can't stretch. Most of all, you'll understand that children are the true victims of this world. And that being some hero isn't always the answer. Sometimes the answer is to just be better or patient to people along your path. Because you have no idea what their yesterday or yesterdays were like. Maybe they were evil. Maybe they were a victim. Maybe they are victorious and amazing. You will see and meet so many that it will not doubt change you. Not to mention you'll also be more selective when it comes to restaurants. Being injured teaches you a lot more than you might think. Scuba diving doesn't have to be a deep dive, but somewhere to experience the world underwater. Live music. There's nothing like seeing your favorite bands perform with large crowds singing along with all of their music. Fast food and or retail labor. If you've never experienced it or anything like it, your eyes are bound to be opened to it by the experience. At least, I would never have understood. Crap jobs for crap wages. True happiness. Not for anyone else's sake. Being truly happy all on your own. Then sharing that happiness. Being employed at an entry level, public-facing positions such as salesperson, cashier, wait staff, etc. Being debt-free if only for a moment. Walking behind a natural waterfall. 39 when I saw it for the first time and I yelled with joy and cried happily. Being able to confidently tell yourself that despite whatever shortcomings and failings you have and will endure in life, that you will be able to take it in stride and say you will be alright. That the sun will rise in the morning and you will not lose a single bit of sleep over it. You will wake up. You will rise and you will be alright. The Grand Canyon. It's the first time in my life I realized just how small I am to this world. It's beautiful and frightening at the same time. Good mental health. Climbing a mountain. Live alone in nature for a week or more. Without any contact with the world. It changes your entire perspective on what is actually important. Reciprocal love. A classical music performance in a historic theater. A retail or food service job. Getting screamed at over a burger while only making minimum wage humbles you real quick. Seeing your favorite banditist live. Further to that. Stage diving. Gratitude. It's so wonderful when someone does something for you for no reason other than they are grateful for your existence. Learn an instrument and play your favorite song on it. The feeling is spiritual. Studying abroad in college or some other way to briefly live in a different counterculture. I truly believe this would help lessen racism, discrimination, The confidence and joy of being happy alone. This might be a forever thing or a thing you experience prior to dating, getting married, etc. But I think everyone should experience it. It's good for the heart and brain. Traveling alone, having hours to spend with only your own thoughts is really powerful. Start with a hike on your own if a trip seems too big. The unconditional love of a dog or cat that you've rescued. Music, it's such a fascinating way of expressing emotion. And moves so many people in so many ways. I feel like it's almost a core aspect that brings everyone together in some way. The stars. Seriously. I know people who've lived in the city all their lives and it never really sank in for them that the night sky out in the countryside is literally full of stars. In the city with all the light pollution you can only see maybe 2 stars a night if that. But a month or so ago a long-time online friend of mine came to visit me in person and said he's never actually seen the stars. It was a clear night, so we got in my car and traveled about 10 minutes out of town and looked up. He was gobsmacked and would just stare up at them as if in a trance. It has that effect on people. To Redditors reading this, who've lived all their lives in the city, do this. Head out to the countryside sometime. And go out of town in the dead of night when it's clear and cloudless and look up. Looking at planets, galaxies through a telescope. Happiness. Buying groceries without counting the cost as you add stuff to the cart and then taking stuff out when you go over budget. Edit. True love would be good too. I don't know if it's a should, but I wish everyone could experience sailing. And not just being a passenger but actually operating a boat and trimming the sails. There's nothing else like it. I wish I could take everyone I meet sailing with me. Ice cream. Riding a motorcycle solo down a country road. Wind in your face. Pashing from scent to scent. Cool shade to warm air and depending on your own metal to get you home safe. You can tell this means a lot to me. A truly generous lover. Humble pie. Whether it's a literal ash kicking or simply a moment that puts you in your place. A drastic loss in social status. Illuminating in so many ways. Honestly. Defeat. Losing at something. Being denied first place and losing all the awards etc. that come with first. When I say this I am not talking in sports. But also in life, being defeated sucks. But it's what comes after that truly defines people. How will you respond? What lessons did you learn? How will you cope with it? What will you do different next time? Will you bounce back and be better, or will you use all your energy to sulk in shame or blame? Ego death. Once you get there, you start living. Lucid dreaming. Happiness. Humility. The earlier the better. That way you learn how to not take yourself so seriously. Being poor. Moving across the country. Even just for a year. I fall into the category of the pandemic, lighting a fire under my ash to do something. I am 26 now. Moved here 5 months ago. Never left my hometown. Even went to community college in my hometown with no support network in a 1600-mile radius. It's basically only up to you to survive. It's not super glorious. But man, I've grown more in these few months than at any other time in my 20s. In fact, I've been so poor from renting a whole house that it's forced me to quit drinking and smoking weed. So I am like more or less always sober. Big ups. But I am ultimately gonna move back to the home front for sure. I have a great family and I wanna move back for them. Backpacking or at least hiking in a far from the city destination. Camping there. Preferably hiking each day. Or staying at a base camp. Staying up late in the evening and watching the stars. You will see so many of them. Compared to being near a city, you will realize you are looking out a grimy, dirty, greasy window of reality that blocks the most important and beautiful view you can have. Don't just do it for 10 minutes or half an hour. Make it at least an hour. Wait until you see several shooting stars. When you can see multiple satellites in the sky simultaneously, you have been watching long enough. If you are fortunate, you may also see the northern lights. Next day hike the woods with a deeper appreciation of our place in the cosmos. And the importance of safeguarding our planet and its ecosystems against catastrophic collapse. Realize how insignificant our planet is. And how important it is to us and our ability to survive. I think people should go camping once. It's very incredible the feeling when you are in nature and build your own fire and maybe even catch your own food. Very eye-opening. Cuddling. It means more than Shrek, although Shrek is great. But the feeling of just holding someone. To me there's nothing like it or better. Especially if it's someone you genuinely care about or have feelings for. Even if you lose them eventually. You always have the memories of the moments you held another person tight and they held you. A decent freaking childhood. Having a pet. The beach. It really does heal the soul. Customer service job. Cirque du Soleil. Empathy. But as a character trait. Not just a one-time thing. A gondola ride in Venice. Italy, it's expensive and overrated. But one of the most magical experiences you'll get, seeing parts of the canals that are only traversable by boat. An international vacation. Standing up to the bully. Happiness. Everybody should experience this, and I hope it would be a lasting thing. Okay. Not everyone can or should run a marathon. But everyone should set a physical goal that is roughly equivalent to a marathon. In terms of the relative physical challenge and the sustained training required to complete it. Because the feeling of, first, just showing up at the starting line. And second, actually crossing the finish line. That's something everyone should experience. It's one of the most satisfying moments of my life. I've told my sons about it many times. I want them to feel that feeling as much as they can. That immense sense of satisfaction and pride of accomplishment, it's simply one of the best items on the menu of human experience. I wish it for everyone. Psychedelics. Shroom trip, even a small one, would benefit most people. It's given me and others I know life-saving introspection. Taking a trip somewhere without having an agenda while you're there. Some of the best trips experiences I've had have been when I've just let myself get lost in a city for 23 days. Moving far away enough from your childhood home to be out of your comfort zone. To live somewhere new and meet new people and see a different part of the world. Far enough you can't drive home on a weekend. Getting a forehead kiss from someone you feel safe with free. As a 37-year-old virgin, I'll say Shrek. Skydiving. The rush is almost indescribable. Jazz fest in New Orleans. Taking a long bath in complete darkness. Dancing like no one is watching. Exploring an entirely new city all on your own. Needing to push yourself in a physical way. As well as needing to push yourself in a mental way. A perfect day at the beach. That rush from a fresh booster. Everyone get yours today. For grandma. A Broadway play. Something like Lion King. Sweeney Todd. Or Avenue Q. The effort. Dedication. Costumes. And sets are worth appreciating even if you don't like musical theater. I saw Lion King when I was like 12, and while I considered myself a little too old for the movie, the play blew my mind. Independence. Learn to live on your own and enjoy your own company. Learn to do your own laundry. Cook for yourself. Learn to pay your own bills. Eat at a restaurant on your own. And bring a book. A good night's sleep where you wake up before your alarms go off. You feel so productive the rest of the day. A true, healthy and loving relationship. Absolutely life-changing to have finally found it. Having good parents. Everyone deserves good parents. Iceland. A total solar eclipse. I drove 9 hours one way and 16 hours back for a 25-minute light show. And would absolutely do it again in a heartbeat. It was the most incredible thing I've ever witnessed. Edit. There's another one coming up in the US in just over 2 years. Make your plans now. Do whatever you can to get yourself in the path of totality. Have Shrek with a partner they truly care about. Everyone should experience a mother's love. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Going in a sensory deprivation tank. It took me a while to get used to, but when I did, it was unbelievably relaxing and peaceful. Having something that is a deeply held, guiding, and undisputed truth turn out to be wrong. Unrequited love. It sucks. But we have to get through it. Fly in an airplane. Scuba diving. It's a surreal experience the first time you actually realize you're breathing underwater. Seeing that an entire world exists underwater is always magical. Their favorite sports team finally winning a championship. Hunger. True hunger. You'll never take food for granted again. Being completely comfortable alone. Be a visible minority in a place for several weeks or more. Working retail. It would humble a lot of people. Swim in the sea naked. Coming home to someone excited to see you. Maybe not the most popular one, but I believe each and every person should have a psychedelic at least once in their lifetime. Any of these drugs single use gives the user a different outlook on their life and doesn't cause any lasting harm with one dose. The frantic wags and licks from a dog that's missed you all day. Blowjobs. A retail job. It will be shiz. But it will teach you that too many people are horrible to those they view as lesser to them. And how even one ashhole can ruin a person's entire day basically. You'll encounter so many ashholes it'll teach you to not be like them. Failure and the value of hard work. Being healthy physically and emotionally. Poverty. It's amazing how many people show so little compassion for something they have never experienced. I had a very bad time in my life where 90% of my income was spent on rent and I had to ration slices of cheap white bread to make a loaf last a fortnight. It changed my view and gave me a social conscience. We need to protect and care for one another as the human race. Dungeons and Dragons with friends. Love lolite walking on cloud swings, it's real. George Harrison said everyone should try LSD once. But only once. I tried it twice. Just to be sure. Being rich. Psychedelic mushrooms. Literally the best day of my entire life is tripping on mushrooms and wandering through the forest by the ocean for a few hours. Being debt free. The discipline and focus is worth it. You'll realize what your family really needs or just wants. There's a big difference. Working in the service sector. Freedom from the undue stress worrying about one's financial security courses. True love. Working in some type of food service just to learn how to treat wait cooking staff. Riding a wave. Surf. Boogie board. Stand-up paddle. Canoe. A total solar eclipse. There are no words to describe the majesty. Live in Nick for a year. No other place will afford you being so close to so many other cultures and people from every corner of the galaxy. Being ditched by someone you love. The anger. The unacceptability. The sadness. The reality. The forgiveness and finally the wisdom that comes to you is therapeutic. Outdoor nudity. Eating pancakes with maple syrup. It's a beautiful experience. I may or may not have just been eating them as I read this. Reneshika's high where you've also been carrying the food the entire few hours you were exercising that you eat while you're relaxing recuperating. It's something that's very achievable and there is just a real sense of primal joy accomplishment from doing it. If you have a hobby that means a lot to you, connect with people who have it too. For example, me, a musician. Jamming out with another musician or several is the best experience I could ask for. There is just something about connecting with someone else through a special way that feels way more powerful than connecting with them normally. A healthy monogamous relationship. Psilocybin. Witnessing a birth. Witnessing a death. Virtual reality, especially experiences like Microsoft Flight Simulator and Elite Dangerous. Parents that don't judge you. Psychedelics. High quality Shrek when high. Working customer service for at least 6 months. True love that is fully reciprocated. For this audience, it'd say being truly poor with no safety net, such as parents, trust fund, investment portfolio or inheritance to save you. Like and subscribe.